Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Uh, COVID, where it has brought many challenges for educationists, at the same time it has brought opportunities. But right now, the biggest challenge that's ahead is how to open schools, and if at all schools are open, colleges, universities, all of them are open. So, what should be the strategy so that this decision doesn't backfire, and it should not bring more bad than good. So there are many challenges ahead, not only for policymakers but also for teachers and parents and students and other stakeholders. So let's first talk about the challenges that are in front of policymakers, who have a very important role in order to make a decision for the whole country, when to open schools and how to open schools, whether they should be opened in a phased manner, and if at all they are open, so what should be the SOP. So this is a very heavy responsibility that lies on the shoulders of not only policymakers in education, but at the same time the policymakers in health sector, and other policymakers at the same time. So if we analyze these challenges, so the first and the four most important challenges: when to open schools. But we have seen the phenomena in many of the countries. Some countries, they open the schools under pressure, under the pressure of private schools, organizations and parents. They had to close the schools down once again, for the reason that suddenly there was a rise in the cases of COVID-19. So in a country like Pakistan, it is very important that when the schools are open, we need to be very, very sure. And that's the reason whenever Interprovincial Education Minister Conference, that's the forum that sits and they decide the first, they talk about that there should be health ministry involved, health departments of provinces involved, and unless and until there is some advisory from them, we should not open the schools, and that's why they are delayed. And right now, as you know, only two sectors are not open yet. They are schools and then the marriage halls and these functions and party places. So this is the biggest challenge: when to open school, what should be the correct date. And number two is, if schools are open, definitely we cannot go for the whole year as a normal year. That is like 200 plus working days. So then you have to look into the model how to condense this academic year so that there will be minimum loss of education, because we cannot afford a complete year loss. So this is another decision where they have to go for accelerated learning model, or they have to just choose some chapters for summative assessment, especially where those high stake exams are involved, where the high schools exams are involved, which are the basis of university admissions. And for universities, once again, the semesters and then professional examinations. So all of them are very, very important. You have to make decisions how to conduct those exams and what should be the syllabus for those exams. So assessment is another challenge that has to be there. Number three is liaison with the many other departments, including health department, including some other departments in the country which are responsible for making sure that there is no such situation where there is some emergency situation arises. So in that case, this liaison is very important. In Pakistan, it was a very encouraging thing to see that in post-COVID situation, there was a complete mechanism that was evolved, and under that mechanism, first the decisions are made on provincial and area basis, then those decisions are made on Interprovincial Education Ministers Conference basis, and then they go into National Coordination Council, that's NCC, and then these are announced by the Prime Minister or his committee. So this liaison is very important, and it's a challenge that all of them are on the same page, because whenever Interprovincial Education Minister Conference comes, different people come and they come up with different decisions, different ideas, under different pressures, under different situations. And as we have seen that there is a decline, significant decline in the number of cases, corona cases, so many people believe that there is no need of keeping the schools closed anymore. And then if the schools are opened at all, another very, very important factor is what are the SOPs that will be followed. And in order to follow those SOPs in letter and spirit, you need resources. And in a country like Pakistan, resources are not enough. They're not available, readily available for you every single time. So what you need to do, you need to prioritize. So for which sector you have to give your resources, for which area you have to give resources, and then they go accordingly. So this is another challenge, which areas are to be given the first priority, which areas are to be given the second priority, and so on. So these are the challenges for schools on policy level.